Good day. I am Dr. Lesa Diaz, your professor in this subject. So, to begin with, I would like to orient you first in our online class. So, here are some of those things that I'm expecting you to do in our online class. So, make sure you have your access to the internet so that you could attend to my class for our session. Make sure that your microphone and your video are all working also so that we could also see each other and I could listen to you. Okay. Another thing that I would like you to know as my expectation before posting your question to our discussion board, check if anyone has asked it already and received a reply. Because from time to time, as we go on with our lesson, of course, we will be using our chat box. Okay, so you will be posting your question there. So I hope you are aware that the discussion board or the chat box is for our subject discussion only, not of anything. You are not allowed to post or to write anything there that is not related to the subject. Next is I would like you to stay on the topic, stay focused on our discussion. Do not post irrelevant comments, links, thoughts, or even pictures in our chat box. Another, don't write anything or post anything sarcastic or even as a joke without hearing your tone. Others might not realize that you are just joking. Okay? So if you're going to raise questions, do not type in all caps locks. If you do, it will look like you're yelling at others or you are angry. Next, respect the opinions of your classmates. If you feel the need to disagree, do it respectfully. And if you'd like to ask question to your professor also, do it respectfully. Okay? Answer respectfully also. So observe those kind of attitude in our online learning or on our own online class. Be respectful, be courteous, value others also. So if you reply to a question from your classmate, make sure your answer is accurate and do not just guess. Remember to say please and thank you when asking for help from your classmates. Be brief. If you're going to write long responses, it's unlikely anyone will spend the time to read it all. Another, if you ask question and many people respond, just summarize all the answers and post it to the benefit of your whole class. Another, if you refer to something about your classmate or about the things that he or she is saying also, make sure that when you quote their lines from their post, okay, make sure that uh, you're giving references. You need to quote a few lines from their post so others know which post you're referring also. And then do not say bad words in our online class. Okay. And same as I told you a while ago, be respectful at all times. Be forgiving also if your classmate commit mistakes or made something wrong. Do not laugh at your classmates because you are all learners here. Okay, accept also mistakes. Okay, that you are not a perfect person. Sometimes you also commit mistake. So another that I would like you to, and that I'm expecting from you is that you do all the requirements that I'll be asking you in my subject for you to pass the subject, of course. So if you'd like to have a high grade, you need to attend my class every day. Do not be late and submit all the requirements. Anyway, I do not really fail anybody, but you have to do effort for the subject. Okay? If there are questions that you would like to raise, you could also ask question regarding the subject itself. Okay? So our subject is about purposive. Okay? Purposive communication. I know for the fact that you already have an idea of what is this purposive communication. Okay? Anybody would like to say something about purposive communication from the class? Anybody? Okay. So let me tell you first what is this purposive communication all about. Okay, actually, purposive communication is about writing, speaking, and presenting uh, to different audience and for various purposes. Okay, so this is a 3-unit course that develops students' communicative competence. So you will be developing your self-confidence here and enhance your cultural and intercultural awareness through multimodal tasks that provide them or that provide the opportunities for communicating effectively. So I hope you will develop your communication skills in this subject. Okay. Focus, of course, the subject focuses on the power of language and the impact of images to emphasize the importance of conveying messages. Okay, whether it's a formal or informal one. Okay, the chosen disciplines and your future careers, of course. Okay, well, I hope this subject will really help you to prepare you in the future and produce relevant oral, written, and audio visual and web-based output for various purposes. So there will be a lot of activities in this subject. And of course, I hope we will meet all the learning outcomes, okay, in this subject. Okay, there are a lot of topics intended in this subject that you have enrolled. Of course, we will be discussing about the meaning and the definition of communication, the process of communication, the principles and even the ethics. Okay, so a lot of assessment to be done also. How effective are you in terms of delivering? How effective is communication? How you deliver it? How do you deliver your speech? Okay, so communication and globalization is another topic that we will be discussing in this subject. And another is about the local and global communication in multi settings, varieties, and registers of spoken and written language. So these are some of those topics that we will be discussing in our subject, you know. Of course, as I mentioned, we will be evaluating your speech, evaluating messages and or even images, pictures, illustrations of different types of text reflecting different cultures, regional, Asian, or Western. So, what is this message all about? What is the purpose of the message being delivered? How it is conveyed by text and or by image, and who is the target of the audience of the message. All of these are under the process of communication. So, what other ways of presenting the message that you could learn in this subject? Another is that communication aids and strategies will be tackling also in our discussion using tools of technology and communication for various purposes to obtain and provide and dissemination of information, to persuade and argue, especially if you will be delivering different kinds of speech. Okay, how are you going to persuade your audience? Okay, convince them to listen to you. Okay, communication for work purposes is also included in our subject, especially if you are into education, business, and trade, media, or even science and technology, or if you are a student of law. Okay. Another is that communication for academic purposes. We will be discussing that one here also. Example of this will be the research-based journal or magazine or article. Of course, we will be evaluating some of your work here using different assessment. So we will make it enjoyable so that you will have that interest in the subject itself. But of course, we need or I need your cooperation so that our lesson will be, of course, interactive and enjoyable and also interesting. So support also, I am also expecting that kind of support from all of you. So, unless you have other questions regarding your expectations in the subject, I may now entertain those questions of yours. So, I hope you are ready. You could raise your question if you want to. Okay, but if there's none, okay, take note that communication is the solvent of all problems, and it is the foundation of personal development. That's why it is very important for you to learn, because purposive communication is very important in human lives, especially to connect to people and make relationship with them. We have to communicate with the different kinds of people around us. Okay, we have to meet the diversity of people. How are we going to communicate with them, with them, and deal with them using effective communication? So all of this, of course, okay, you could learn in this subject. Okay, that's why communication is very useful nowadays. We can make this to have a better relationship to others and to understand each others. So the importance of communication is that it removes confusions that may lead to pains, conflict, misunderstanding without a better communication. So we have to do something and improve ourselves, of course, so that we could have a better relationship, not only a better relationship, but a lasting relationship with the people around us, especially people who are close to us. Okay? Communication is very vital. Okay? Take note of that. Communication is very vital because it serves as a bridge which connects every people to understand each other, to listen to their thoughts and perception. Okay, take note that communications is fundamental, okay, to the existence and survival of humans as well as to an organization. So if you're already working, if you're a working student, you really need this one. You really need to understand people around you so that you could effectively do your work. Okay, you could improve your performance through effective communication. It is a process. Take note that communication is a process of creating and sharing ideas, information, views, and facts, feelings, and a lot of more towards other people for you to to have a common understanding, to reach a common understanding. Because if you deliver it differently, okay, that is not effective communication. Because if you deliver it effectively, your message, you have delivered it effectively, you'll have a good relationship with other people. And communication may be done with, as I mentioned, verbal. There are forms of communication. This can be done through verbal or the non-verbal forms of communication. Okay, so this is just an introduction of those things that you could learn in this subject. Since I've started already telling you the different forms of communication, we have the verbal and the non-verbal, and I'm pretty sure that you know all of this because you are actually we are doing all of this already. Okay, the verbal and non-verbal. But I would like to uh, emphasize more of this